Hi, I'm Bob LaRosa. Welcome to Fix My Hog. We've partnered up with Cobra in order to bring you a bunch of nice performance products. You don't necessarily need to disturb the stock configuration of your motorcycle, but if that is the case, you're looking for a little more audible output from the exhaust or a performance gain, Cobra is the best direction to head when it comes to exhaust, air cleaners, and actually new fuel-injected control modules, fuel management systems. Cobra itself is coming up on its third decade in business. They basically started out as a small company building ATV exhausts. They led the industry in spark arresters, which kept the ATVs from lighting the forests on fires almost 30 years ago. In 2001, Cobra built a 85,000 square foot facility in California. All their products are made in the United States. Their latest exhaust systems have a lifetime limited warranty. This is a fantastic product. Cobra themselves go above and beyond just looking at exhaust system that has raw steel. They are innovative. They have a passion for the industry. When it comes to performance upgrades, everyone likes to group upgrades into what's known as stages. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. Typically, in my opinion, any grouping of a performance increase or a performance modification, it has to be dictated by what you expect as the end result. If you're looking just for a little more sound, let's say your motorcycle's just a little too quiet, slip-on mufflers are definitely what can be considered a stage 1 upgrade. You can slide a set of slip-ons onto your factory head pipes, pick up a lot of the audible that's needed, and the motorcycle still runs fine. Again, depending on what you expect for performance upgrades. If you're looking for a motorcycle that runs perfect, depends on where you ride, how you ride, what you consider perfect to be. Now you have to bear in mind, motorcycles as a whole that are built and designed at the manufacturer's facilities, whether it be Asian or American, are all designed with cost in mind. They need to keep production costs low so the overall cost of the motorcycle remains low. They have to meet mandatory regulations, whether they're sound output, emissions output. The motorcycle has to be designed and built that everyone can ride it and enjoy it, no matter where your location may be. Now this leaves a broad area to cover. So motorcycles typically are detuned from the factory in order to meet standards and expectations of the purchasing public. When it comes to replacing exhausts, you can put on any style exhaust on any motorcycle. Obviously, it has to fit correctly. The limitations, again, are dictated by intake, and by today's standards, fuel injection applies, the ECM, the control module. A big limitation on the Harley-Davidson motorcycle is the diameter of the exhaust port. It comes out of the cylinder head at 1 3/4. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. I see a lot of pipe manufacturers jump right from 1 3/4 up to a larger diameter. This increases flow output, which again is dictated by exhaust valve size. You can only put so much in to get so much out. Remember that. If you're allowing more fresh air in, you need to reduce back pressure to allow more of the burned exhaust fumes out the exhaust. With Cobra's assistance, I'm going to show you how to address a handful of easy, affordable, and quality performance upgrades. One of the big first starting points, in my opinion, is always exhaust. The factory exhaust has a great amount of back pressure in order, again, to meet mandated regulations for emissions and noise output. Today's fuel-injected motorcycles, some of the early injection systems did not utilize O2 sensors that read how the engine was running and what exhaust gases were actually getting released by the exhaust valve out into the exhaust system. The O2 sensors are a critical part of knowing how an engine operates. So you need to keep those in place if your motorcycle's fuel injected and it's built with O2 sensors. Again, Cobra makes exhausts, whether they're slip-ons that utilize your factory head pipes or a complete system available from the cylinder head right out through to a custom performance designed baffle. Another area that needs to be addressed anytime you greatly reduce back pressure is the air cleaner assembly. The factory air cleaner assembly is restrictive. The reason for that, again, is noise output. The plastic backing plate absorbs a lot of the harmonics off the engine, keeps things quiet, allows the motorcycle to run well, but also meet emissions and noise output regulations. The factory air cleaner, of course, it's easy enough to say, why don't they use such and such an air cleaner? Again, it comes to production costs. They use an air cleaner that is not serviceable. You can clean it, but chances are once it's run its life, it's going to be a replaceable item, as opposed to a serviceable, replaceable element. The outer cover, again, is fairly restrictive. And air cleaners, more often than not, are replaced for aesthetics other than performance gains. And that's perfectly fine. But you need to know when you address one of the three controlling components, airbox, exhaust, and the ECM on the fuel-injected models. That is the brain. The ECM is what communicates and tells the fuel when to enter, how much fuel, when to fire the spark. It controls everything in today's fuel-injected system. The ECM itself, again, is factory programmed to meet a broad range of use. It's for everyone to ride, everyone to enjoy. These modules or ECMs or fuel management systems are just like today's computer industry. They change from year to year, from model to model. Again, do your research, find the best electrical component, not only for practical use, but for affordability. Don't spend all your money on one component and overwhelm the other two components. You always have to keep in perspective. I have three areas on the motorcycle that I myself, the general consumer, can modify and not only increase the audible output, make a little more sound, but also increase performance. This is a very broad area. Again, I highly recommend using reputable manufacturers, doing a lot of research. And again, research, in my opinion, involves talking to people who have products that you're interested in purchasing. Ask them, how was the installation? Make sure it's something that's within your capabilities of doing, or you're going to wind up paying a professional to install and map or program an ECM for you. Again, buy products you can afford, buy products that fit your need. If you're just looking for a little more sound, you're not generally concerned about increasing torque or horsepower, slip-on mufflers are the way to go. In the next few videos with Cobra's assistance, I plan on showing you slip-on mufflers, complete exhaust systems, air intake, air cleaner, complete units, and ECM modifiers or fuel management system enhancers, all available through Cobra.